Hi, there's a number of people that were having troubles with scene 1.1, so I thought that what I'd do is just kind of talk through that scene and look at some specific language here and there, and hopefully that will be enough to make sense of this in the future. And I might do this as we're going on and on throughout the scenes, so we'll take a look. So here is an online script of Othello, and we'll just kind of look through and see what we think. Alright, so it starts off, and if you're a little confused, there's good reason for you to be confused. Tush, never tell me, I take it much kindly, that thou, Iago, would have my purse, as if the strings were thine, should know of this. What is this? There's no way for you to know. It's the first line of the show. We don't know. It's a pronoun. We have no idea what this is. Now, because we've discussed the play, I think that we can assume that this is Othello and Desdemona's elopement, their marriage. But we don't know, and that's honestly a guess. Another thing to point out is Iago, who hast had my purse as if the strings were thine. Purse, like as in money purse, strings as in the strings of the purse. So you who've had my purse as if it were your own. I'm spending a lot of money on this, and I think it's kind of crappy that you apparently knew about this. And Iago says he doesn't. And so the guy says that, I thought you held him in thy hate, right here. That thou didst told me, thou didst hold him in thy hate. And so he's going to spend the next little bit explaining, yes, I hate them, and here is why I hate them. So this is the big speech. Despise me if I do not. 3 great ones of the city, in personal suit to make me his lieutenant. So even though the play hasn't told us, we know that Othello is a general. He's looking for a lieutenant. And so he had 3 guys from the city to come up and say, hey, look, Othello, you should make Iago your lieutenant. But instead, what he says is that, no, I've already chose my officer. So instead of giving him a lieutenant, he gives it to somebody else. He gives it to Michael Cassio. And this is where he says that never set a squadron in the field, nor divisions of battle knows more than a spinster, unless the bookish theoric, wherein the talk consults, blah, 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 blah. That, as Master will see here, mere prattle without practice is his soldiership. That he understands war only through book, only through theory. And conversely, here's Iago, who says, I, of whom his eyes have seen the proof, who he's seen me do this. And this idea of eyes that seen the proof, that's going to come up in this play over and over. I need to see the proof. But anyways, the eyes that have seen the proof at Rhodes, at Cyprus, and other grounds, Christian and heathen. I've been there. I've done it. And that I must be the belayed and be calmed by debtor and creditor. He doesn't have as much money as he'd like because he's not getting this job, and he's being constantly hounded by creditors and debitors. I think that's something we can still understand. And then he ends up being his moorship's ancient. Now, that's a really strange position. There's no really good, at least to my knowledge, way of describing what a modern context within the military is. Pretty much what the ancient is some sort of personal servant. He does a lot of menial tasks, but it's also a trusted position. It's like, he's going to ask his ancient to take care of his wife, on a trip, or to take a letter that's very sensitive. So it's both a trusted position, but it's also kind of insulting, at least to Iago. That's what he's telling us. And then he says that, Rodrigo says that, if that's so bad, I wouldn't follow him then. And then he gets into this question about, I follow him to serve my turn upon him. And he says later on that I do follow him. In following him, I follow but myself. And basically what he's saying is that I follow him so I can betray him. I follow him so I can eventually attack him or do something to that effect. And he even says that when my outward action doth demonstrate the native figure of my heart in compliment extern, it's not long after, but I will wear my heart upon my sleeve for daws to peck at. And what that means is that when my inner thoughts reflect in my outer actions, like when my outer action, what you see and hear me do, reflects what I really feel, they're going to put me in a place where I'm going to be killed, and that literally things are going to peck at my heart. So that's all I got on this one. I'll have to pick it up in just a second.